Problem 13-4 from the fundamentals of chapter 13. And we're doing equations of motion using rectangular coordinates. I believe the next section will go into using cylindrical coordinates and so on. So this has to be the bread and butter for everything. You know, this is like the easy coordinate system. Alright. We're trying to determine the speed of the car when s equals 10 meters, or when the winch has pulled the car 10 meters, starting from rest. Neglect rolling resistance of the car. Remember, that's key, as that allows us to ignore friction. Okay. And you know, another key thing that you might pick up here is they don't give us a friction coefficient, so that's another thing that it's like, okay, we probably don't need to use friction. All right. So let's see. Let's draw the free body diagram. So remember, the free body diagram, your professor might ask you to like draw the dot and then draw the forces on it, but I like to just draw the forces directly on the actual object. So we have the normal force, we have the weight, right? Those two are going to be equal to each other because no more forces in the y direction. And then we have a force acting to the right, which is the force T, tension. Okay, and this tension is not constant tension. It's a force that's dependent on space. All right, so remember that. So hint, hint, some integration is probably going to be involved. So if we do, you know, if the equations of motion, you know, set these up. You can do the y direction, but you can already know that in the y direction there's no acceleration. The car's not elevating or jumping or anything. And that's just going to tell you that the normal is equal to the weight. Right? So we're interested in this first equation up here. So we're going to sum up the forces in the x direction, which are T, right? So it's 100 S plus 1 equals the mass. That's a 2 megagram car, so we're going to say it's 2,000 kilograms, right, times AX. And remember, that's 2 times 10 to the 6 grams. This is that mega term. And we want it to set up like this, right? And then this is the kilo term. Okay, so yeah, so we're going to leave it as 100, you know, tension equals 2,000 times the acceleration. Okay, if we isolate the acceleration term, we're going to end up getting, what's that, let's see, 100 divided by 2,000. Let's see what we get. So we have 0.05 s plus 1. Okay, and we want to determine the speed of the car when s equals 10 meters. So you know, we're not going to just plug in 10 here and get the acceleration and then say we have, you know, use one of these equations here that we used to use, because again, this is not a constant acceleration problem. So we're going to do some integration, right? This is the basic differential format of the acceleration term, but because we're dealing with space and not time here, it's not time dependent, we're gonna switch this over using the chain rule, and we're gonna say this is ds, right? ds dt is just v, velocity, and then that leaves us with v dv ds. Now that we have the velocity or the acceleration in terms of velocity in space, we just want to finish up by plugging in or substituting what the acceleration term was. So we had this is 0.05 s plus 0.05. Let's just move over the ds right away and then leave this side as such. Alright, so we have our acceleration term integrating with respect to s, and our velocity term is integrating with respect to velocity. Alright, once we do this once, we should end up getting 0.05 s squared divided by 2 plus 0.05 s, and we're evaluating this from 0 to s. So you can put up here 10, but just you can just say 0 to s. So from 0 to s equals, and this is from 0 to some velocity final, or you can just say v naught to vf and then plug in 0 for velocity initial, and then here we have v squared over 2 vf. And then our final equation will look like this. Our velocity final is going to be the square root of 0.05 s squared plus 0.1 s, okay, and you're evaluating vf at s equals 10 meters, okay, and that'll give you 2.45 meters per second. And that is it. So again, the crux of the problem is, again, just if you're not used to this, try to find other examples that I've done in this chapter 12, where we covered this pretty extensively with cylindrical coordinates and also rectangular coordinates. Alright, thanks for your time, guys. I hope this video helped you guys out. Don't forget to like and share if you need to. Comment down below if you have any questions or comments. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.